This story is about a legend who defied time.
Johnson shot, safe, rebound, score! Jágr gets the goal!
Some people chase greatness, others create it. From a young boy skating on frozen ponds in Czechoslovakia to a hockey icon still competing at the highest level, well past 50, this legend's journey is a masterclass in resilience and perseverance. His secret, a commitment to health, fitness, and a work ethic that never quits. If you've ever wondered what it takes to defy the odds and achieve the impossible, his story is the blueprint you need. Let's dream for a moment. Imagine having the energy and skill of a top athlete, even in your 50s. Meet Jaromir Jagr, a hockey legend who shows us that, with hard work and a healthy lifestyle, age is just a number. His story proves that dedication to fitness can keep you at the top of your game, no matter how old you are. What makes a champion? Is it talent, hard work, or an unshakable belief in oneself? For Jaromir Jagr, it was all three and more. He wasn't just born to play hockey, he was raised to become a legend. From a young age, Jágr showed a passion and drive that set him apart, making him one of the most dedicated and unstoppable athletes the world has ever seen. Born on February 15, 1972, in Kladno, Czechoslovakia, Jaromir Jagr entered the world at a time of political and economic hardship. His country was under communist rule, limiting opportunities for families like his. But Jágr's parents, Jaromir Sr. and wife Anna, refused to let circumstances define their son's future. Jágr was named after his father and grandfather, both hard-working men who instilled discipline and perseverance in him. His family had lost land and businesses under the communist regime, yet they held on to their dreams. It was this resilience that shaped young Jágr's mindset: work harder than anyone else, and success will follow. From the moment he could walk, Jágr had a hockey stick in his hands. By age 3, he was already skating. By age 7, he was doing 1,000 squats every single day. Let's stop and think about that. Asking your 7-year-old to do 1,000 squats every day. This was a training routine his father encouraged to build his son's legendary lower body strength. This wasn't just for fun. It was preparation for greatness. While Jágr's talent was undeniable, his journey wouldn't have been possible without his family's support. His father, Jaromir Sr., was more than just a parent. He was his first coach and mentor. A former athlete himself, he believed in discipline and hard work. He later became the president of HC Kladno, a Czech professional ice hockey team based in the city of Kladno, ensuring his son had the best resources to develop his skills. Jágr's mother, Anna, played an equally vital role. She kept him grounded, ensuring he stayed focused on both his education and his training. While his father pushed him on the ice, his mother made sure he never lost his love for the game. She supported his strict training routines and encouraged his dedication to self-improvement. Jágr is quoted saying, "My father taught me to work harder than everyone else. My mother made sure I never forgot to enjoy it." Despite growing up under a communist regime that restricted opportunities, Jágr never used it as an excuse. Instead, it became his fuel for success. With his parents' guidance, he learned that success wasn't about where you came from, but how hard you were willing to work. And work, he did. By his teenage years, he was already playing against men in professional leagues. He wasn't just good, he was special, and the world was about to take notice. From a young boy in Kladno to one of the greatest hockey players of all time, Jaromir Jagr's journey was just getting started. Chapter 1. A Nation in Chains. Imagine growing up in a world where your dreams are controlled by the government, where the land your family owns is taken away, where every decision about your future is not yours to make. This was the reality of Czechoslovakia in the 1970s, a country under strict communist rule. And this was the world that young Jaromir Jagr was born into. But like the strongest steel forged in fire, hardship only made him stronger. To understand Jagr's rise, you must first understand the challenges he faced. Czechoslovakia had been under communist control since the late 1940s, but things got even worse after the Prague Spring of 1968. The Prague Spring was a time when leaders tried to bring more freedom and democracy to the country. People felt hopeful, thinking they might finally have more control over their own lives. But their hopes were crushed. In August 1968, Soviet tanks rolled into Czechoslovakia. The government that had promised freedom was overthrown. The Soviet Union took complete control, leading to decades of political repression. This meant people had to follow strict government rules, even if they didn't agree with them. Families lost their homes and businesses to the state through forced collectivization. Anyone who spoke out against the government faced punishment or imprisonment. For families like the Jágrs, this was devastating. They had owned land for generations, but it was taken away. His grandfather, a hard-working farmer, was labeled an enemy of the state just for owning land. The government stripped the Jágr family of their property, their wealth, and their freedom, yet they never gave up. They taught young Jaromir an important lesson. No matter how hard life gets, you must work even harder. With so many restrictions, opportunities for young people were extremely limited. The government controlled everything, including sports. However, there was one silver lining. The government viewed sports as a way to show the world that communism worked. If Czechoslovakia could produce strong, talented athletes, it would make the country look powerful on the world stage. Because of this, young athletes were placed into state-run sports programs. These programs were strict and highly competitive. Only the best of the best made it through. Jaromir Jagr was one of them. Even as a child, he trained harder than anyone else. While other kids played, he was on the ice. He skated, he shot pucks, and he did his famous 1,000 squats a day. He had to prove himself constantly. In Czechoslovakia, sports weren't just a game, they were a way out. Jágr knew that if he wanted a better life, he had to be the best hockey player in the country, so he worked harder than anyone else, and soon the world would take notice. Chapter 2, the Jágr family. Behind every great athlete, there is a strong support system. For Jaromir Jagr, that support came from his family, his father, his mother, and his sister. They weren't just there for him, they built him. They taught him discipline, resilience, and the value of hard work. Without them, there would be no hockey legend named Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr Sr. was a man of discipline and determination. He worked as a mine administrator, managing difficult and dangerous work deep underground. But his dreams stretched far beyond the mines. He wanted a better future for his son, and he knew that hard work was the only way to get there. As Jágr Sr. watched young Jaromir skate, he saw something special. He didn't just see a boy having fun, he saw a future champion. So he made sure his son trained harder than anyone else. He had him do 1,000 squats a day, starting at age 7. He pushed him to practice every day, no matter how tired he was. If you want to be the best, you have to outwork everyone, he told his son. Later, Jágr Sr. took a bold step. He left his mining job and became an entrepreneur in the hotel industry. This move helped him provide better opportunities for his family. But he didn't stop there. His love for hockey led him to become the president of HC Kladno, a club that helped develop young Czech players. He wasn't just shaping his son's future, he was shaping the future of Czech hockey. While Jágr's father was strict and demanding, his mother Anna was his source of warmth and encouragement. She made sure that her son didn't just grow into a great hockey player, she made sure he grew into a great person. Anna managed everything at home. She made sure Jaromir had the right food to eat, the right clothes to wear, and the right mindset to succeed. She reminded him that no matter how far he went in hockey, he had to stay humble and respectful. She also made education a priority. She knew that hockey was important, but she wanted her son to be smart and well-rounded. She made sure he studied, even when he was exhausted from training. She taught him balance, the secret to a long and successful career. Jaromir's older sister, Jitka, was another key figure in his journey. While she didn't play hockey, she helped take care of him and supported his dreams. She saw firsthand how much he sacrificed, and she always encouraged him to keep going. Even though the spotlight was always on her little brother, she never resented it. Instead, she took pride in his success. She knew that their family's hard work was paying off. The Jágr family didn't just support him, they built him from the ground up. They gave him the work ethic, the discipline, and the heart of a champion. With their guidance, he was ready to take on the world. And soon the world would take notice. Chapter 3, the state of Czech hockey. In the 1970s and 80s, Czechoslovakia was one of the top hockey nations in the world. The country had produced some of the best players of all time, competing fiercely against the Soviet Union and Canada. But behind the success was a system that was tough, demanding, and built on hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. For young players like Jaromir Jagr, hockey wasn't just a sport, it was a way to a better life. But getting to the top was not easy. It took years of dedication, intense training, and overcoming challenges that few outside of Czechoslovakia could even imagine. Hockey was a major source of national pride in Czechoslovakia, and the government heavily supported it. If a young boy showed talent, he was placed into the country's structured youth hockey system, which was designed to create elite athletes. The system worked like this. Number 1, start young. Kids as young as 5 or 6 were put into local hockey schools. 2, train hard. By age 10, the best players were already on strict training programs, practicing several hours a day, 6 days a week. 3, specialized coaching. At age 12 or 13, top players trained with professional-level coaches, focusing on speed, endurance, and technical skills. And number 4, National development. By 14 or 15, only the best made it to regional teams, where they played against the top young talents in the country. But the system had its challenges. Limited equipment, skates, sticks, and protective gear were expensive and often hard to find. Many young players had to use old second-hand gear. Strict government control. Players had little choice about their futures. If they were selected to play for a certain team, they had to go. Few opportunities to play in the NHL. Because Czechoslovakia was under communist rule, its players weren't allowed to freely join the National Hockey League in North America. They either had to defect, which meant to leave their country without permission, or wait until later in their careers. If a young player was good enough, he could join one of the country's top professional teams as a teenager. The best teams during Jágr's youth were HC Dukla Jihlava, the dominant team, winning 12 league championships. HC Kladno, Jágr's hometown team, known for developing top young talent. HC Sparta Prague, one of the oldest and most successful clubs in the country. Many of these teams were connected to the Czechoslovak military. This meant that top players were often forced to serve in the army while still playing hockey. It was a tough life, but for those who survived it, the reward was a chance to represent their country on the international stage. Jágr's rise through the system. From a young age, Jaromir Jagr stood out. He was stronger, faster, and more determined than the other kids. He played in the top Czech junior leagues, dominating older players and proving that he was special. By the time he was 15, he was playing against grown men in the Czechoslovak First League, the highest level of hockey in the country. He wasn't just keeping up, he was excelling. The world was about to see just how special this young Czech player was. Chapter 4. A star in the making. From the moment he could walk, Jaromir Jagr had a hockey stick in his hands. He wasn't just a child playing a game. He was a young boy preparing for greatness. While most kids his age were learning how to balance on their skates, Jágr was already gliding across the ice like he was born to be there. By the age of 3, he was skating. By the age of 4, he was already better than kids twice his age. By 6 years old, he was competing with older players, challenging himself against teenagers. He never wanted to play with kids his own age. He wanted to play against the best. Jágr's early hockey journey was nothing short of extraordinary. While most young players practiced a few times a week, Jágr was on the ice every single day. His father pushed him hard, making sure he trained like a professional even as a child. He skated for hours, shot pucks endlessly, and worked on his skills until they were perfect. But his real secret, hard work and leg strength. As part of his training, Jágr did 1,000 squats a day, starting when he was just a young boy. His father believed that strong legs were the key to success in hockey, and he was right. Jágr's incredible lower body strength gave him the balance, power, and endurance that set him apart from every other player. "I didn't have to be the most talented," Jágr once said. "I just had to work harder than everyone else." And that's exactly what he did. While other kids his age were still playing junior hockey, Jágr was already playing against grown men. At 15 years old, he made his professional debut for Poldi SONP Kladno, his hometown team. This wasn't a junior league. This was the top league in Czechoslovakia, where the country's best players competed. Yet Jágr, still just a teenager, not only held his own, he dominated. His speed, strength, and skill were unbelievable for someone so young. He didn't just look like a future star, he was already playing like one. By 17, he was selected to play for the Czechoslovakia national team, becoming the youngest player ever to do so. He was now playing alongside men in their 20s and 30s, some of the best hockey players in the world. But he didn't back down. Instead, he thrived. But Jágr's journey wasn't easy. He had to balance his brutal training schedule with school. He had to work twice as hard as everyone else just to keep up. And because of the strict communist government, his future was uncertain. Would he ever get to play in the NHL? Would he be stuck in Czechoslovakia forever? Jágr didn't know the answers. But one thing was certain. He wasn't going to stop working until he reached the top. And soon the world would witness the rise of a hockey legend. Chapter 5. The 1990 NHL Draft. For years, Jaromir Jagr dreamed of playing in the NHL. But for Czech players, that dream was nearly impossible. The communist government controlled everything, including where its athletes played. Many top Czech players had to defect, escape their country and risk punishment to play in North America. But in 1990, history changed. With the fall of communism, Jágr became the first Czechoslovakian player allowed to enter the NHL draft with government permission. It was a huge moment, not just for him, but for his country. He wasn't just playing for himself. He was playing for every young Czech player who dreamed of a better future. And on June 16, 1990, in Vancouver, Canada, that dream became reality. The Pittsburgh Penguins selected Jágr 5th overall in the NHL Draft. At just 18 years old, he was heading to North America to join some of the best hockey players in the world. When Jágr arrived in Pittsburgh, the Penguins were a team on the rise. They had missed the playoffs 6 times in the 1980s, struggling to build a winning team, but they had Mario Lemieux, one of the greatest players in NHL history, leading the charge. They needed young, dynamic talent to push them over the edge, and Jágr was the perfect fit. Still, moving to a new country was not easy. Jágr didn't speak English. He carried a pocket dictionary everywhere, trying to learn words as fast as he could. He missed his family, his home, and the life he had always known. But he had one goal, to be the best, and Pittsburgh welcomed him with open arms. While Jágr was a rising star, Mario Lemieux was already a legend. Standing at 6 feet, 4 inches, Lemieux was a powerhouse on the ice, known for his unbelievable skill and leadership. But at the time, he was also battling serious back injuries that threatened his career. Instead of seeing Jágr as a rival, Lemieux became his mentor. He taught him the secrets of the game, helping him adjust to the NHL. He gave him confidence, telling him that he had the talent to be a superstar. Most importantly, he made him feel at home in Pittsburgh. It didn't take long for Jágr and Lemieux to dominate together. With their incredible chemistry, the Penguins went on to win back-to-back Stanley Cups in 1991 and 1992. At just 19 years old, Jágr became one of the youngest players ever to lift the Stanley Cup. His dream had come true, but he was just getting started. Chapter 6, Super Mario. Every great athlete has someone who helps them rise to the next level. For Jaromir Jagr, that person was Mario Lemieux. More than just a teammate, Lemieux was a mentor, a leader, and one of the greatest players to ever step onto the ice. When Jágr arrived in Pittsburgh in 1990, he was just an 18-year-old kid who didn't speak English and was adjusting to life in a new country. But he had something special: raw talent, determination, and an unmatched work ethic. Lemieux saw that immediately, and he took the young Czech star under his wing. Together, they formed one of the most unstoppable duos in NHL history. Before Jágr even entered the NHL, Mario Lemieux was already a legend. Mario was drafted first overall in 1984 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, instantly changing the future of the franchise. At 6 feet 4 inches and 230 pounds, he was a rare combination of size, speed, and skill. He could score from anywhere on the ice, making him one of the most feared goal scorers in hockey history. In 1988-89, he scored 199 points in a single season, a feat only matched by Wayne Gretzky. He led the NHL in scoring multiple times and won 3 Hart trophies as the league's most valuable player. But what made Lemieux truly special wasn't just his talent, it was his leadership. He wasn't just a star player, he was a captain who made everyone around him better. And when Jágr arrived in Pittsburgh, Lemieux saw something in him. He knew Jágr had the potential to be great. From the moment Jágr joined the Penguins, Lemieux made sure he felt welcome. He helped him adjust to life in the NHL, teaching him how to handle the pressure of playing at the highest level. Most importantly, he led by example. Jágr watched how Lemieux trained, how he carried himself, and how he stayed calm under pressure. He saw the dedication and professionalism that made Lemieux one of the best. He learned how to play the game the right way, not just with skill, but with intelligence and patience. And then something incredible happened. Their chemistry on the ice was magical. Lemieux and Jágr played effortlessly together, setting each other up for goals and creating highlight reel plays. Defenses had no answer for them. One of the greatest duos in hockey history. With Lemieux guiding him, Jágr blossomed into a star. Together, they helped lead the Pittsburgh Penguins to back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1991 and 1992. Lemieux wasn't just a teammate, he was a mentor who helped shape Jágr's career. And as the years went on, Jágr took those lessons with him, becoming one of the greatest players of all time, just like his mentor before him. Chapter 7. Jágr's commitment to fitness and longevity. What does it take to play professional hockey into your 50s? Hard work, discipline, and a mindset that never accepts limits. For Jaromir Jagr, fitness wasn't just part of his career. It was his way of life. While other players relied on natural talent, Jágr built his greatness through relentless training, strict nutrition, and an unstoppable work ethic. Even as the years passed, he never slowed down. Most players retire in their 30s, some push into their 40s, but Jágr, he's still playing in his 50s. How? Let's dive into the unbelievable dedication that has kept him on the ice for decades. Jágr's legendary fitness routine started early, very early. At just 7 years old, he began doing 1,000 squats every single day. In case you missed that nugget earlier, you heard that right. 1,000 squats from the age of 7. His father believed that strong legs were the key to success in hockey, and he was right. This training built Jágr's explosive power, endurance, and balance, all of which became his trademarks. And while most players relied on traditional workouts, Jágr was always ahead of the curve, using innovative techniques to improve his game. Jágr wasn't just training, he was training differently. According to Men's Journal, he skated with a 44-pound weighted vest and 4-pound ankle weights, making regular skating feel effortless during games. According to Sports Illustrated, he shot weighted pucks to strengthen his wrists, increasing the power of his already lethal shot. He performed one-leg jumps out of the water, building incredible lower body strength and balance. And here's the kicker: he never stopped. Even after games, when most players were resting, Jágr was still training. His mindset? If he worked harder than everyone else, he would always be ahead. Early in his career, Jágr had some bad habits, like drinking multiple cans of Diet Coke a day. But as he got older, he realized he needed to take care of his body if he wanted to keep playing. So he cut out Diet Coke and reduced his coffee intake, replacing them with a nutrient-rich diet focused on longevity and performance. His meals were packed with lean proteins to build and maintain muscle, healthy fats for energy and brain function, fruits and vegetables loaded with vitamins to keep his body strong. Jágr wasn't just physically tough, his mind was stronger than steel. He often trained late at night, long after his teammates had gone home. He believed in outworking everyone, knowing that even if he lost speed with age, his conditioning and skills would keep him dominant. Jágr's commitment to training and his unbreakable mindset made him more than just a great player. They made him a legend. And even now in his 50s, he's still proving that hard work beats everything. Chapter 8. What makes Jágr different from other athletes? There are great hockey players, and then there is Jaromir Jagr. What separates him from the rest? His work ethic, his dedication, and his refusal to follow the norm. While most players followed a traditional routine, Jágr did things his own way, and that's why he's still playing while others have long since retired. Let's take a look at the unbelievable things Jágr does that set him apart from every other athlete. Most hockey players wake up early, train in the morning, and go home after practice. Not Jágr. He is known for training late at night, often skating alone in empty arenas while everyone else is asleep. After games, while his teammates were resting or celebrating, Jágr would put on his skates and train for hours. He was once spotted skating alone at 2 a.m. in an empty arena, fine-tuning his game while the world slept. Instead of relaxing after a game, he would hop on an exercise bike and cycle during post-game interviews. Jágr's belief? The extra work when nobody is watching makes all the difference. He once said, "If you want to be better than everyone else, you have to work harder than everyone else." And that's exactly what he did. Jágr didn't just train harder, he trained smarter. To make sure he was always ahead of the competition, he created his own training techniques and used customized equipment to push himself further. He wore a 44-pound weight vest while skating, so when game time came, he felt lighter and faster. He trained with 4-pound ankle weights, making his legs incredibly strong. He used weighted pucks and medicine balls to increase his shooting power and wrist strength. He developed specialized drills to target his weaknesses, ensuring he became a complete player. While other players followed traditional workouts, Jágr constantly experimented, looking for new ways to improve, and it worked. For many players, the off-season is a time to rest and recover. Not for Jágr. Instead of taking long vacations, he trained harder in the summer than he did during the season. He attended intensive training camps focused on strength, agility, and endurance. He incorporated cross-training activities such as running, cycling, and weightlifting to stay in peak shape. He never let his body slow down, so when the season started, he was already ahead of the competition. Jágr's commitment to excellence is what has made him one of the longest-lasting athletes in hockey history. While others rested, he worked. While others slowed down, he pushed forward. That is why, even in his 50s, he is still playing the game he loves. Chapter 9. Inspiring Lessons from Jágr. What if someone told you that age doesn't matter? That you could keep doing what you love for as long as you want, as long as you're willing to put in the work? This is the story of Jaromir Jagr. He didn't just play hockey, he redefined what was possible. Even as others retired, even as the game changed, he kept going. His journey isn't just about hockey, it's about defying limits, embracing hard work, and never giving up on your dreams. Most professional hockey players retire in their 30s. A few push into their 40s. But Jágr, he kept playing well into his 50s. Think about that. 50 years old, competing against players half his age, and still making an impact. He became one of the oldest professional hockey players in history, proving that age is just a number when you have the right mindset. Over the years, he has set countless records, second all-time in NHL points, behind only Wayne Gretzky. Played in 5 different decades, an almost unheard-of achievement. Won 2 Stanley Cups, a Hart Trophy, MVP, and countless other honors. But more than the numbers, his legacy is about never backing down from a challenge. I love this game. As long as I can compete, I will keep playing. The Jaromir Jagr. What makes Jágr different from other players? His commitment, his discipline, his refusal to take shortcuts. He trained when others rested. He evolved his training as he aged, focusing on flexibility, endurance, and recovery. He adapted his playing style to remain competitive, even as the game got faster and younger. Jágr knew that talent alone wouldn't keep him in the game. He had to be smarter, stronger, and more determined than everyone else. And he was. Even as he approaches his mid-50s, Jaromir Jagr continues to defy age and expectations with a rigorous training and diet regimen that keeps him competitive on the ice. Today's training regimen. Jágr's commitment to fitness is unwavering. He maintains a demanding workout schedule, often training late at night or in the early morning hours. A notable aspect of his routine includes performing 1,000 squats daily, a practice he began at the age of 7 and has continued throughout his career. In addition to his squats, Jágr incorporates various strength and conditioning exercises. Weighted sprints. He performs sprints on the ice while wearing a 35-pound weight vest, enhancing his speed and endurance. Resistance training. Utilizing resistance bands and weighted pucks, Jágr strengthens his shot power and overall muscle resilience. Core workouts. Exercises such as medicine ball slams and planks are integral to his routine, focusing on core stability, essential for hockey performance. Understanding the importance of adapting his regimen with age, Jágr has made specific adjustments. Weight management. He has shed approximately 15 pounds to maintain agility and reduce strain on his body. Recovery. Focus. Incorporating activities like yoga and stretching, he emphasizes flexibility and injury prevention. Jágr's nutrition plays a pivotal role in his sustained athleticism. He has eliminated high-sugar products from his diet, including a previous habit of consuming multiple cans of Diet Coke daily. This shift towards a balanced diet rich in lean proteins, vegetables, and complex carbohydrates supports his energy levels and overall health. Beyond physical training, Jágr's mental resilience is a cornerstone of his longevity. His philosophy centers on continuous improvement and outworking competitors, often leading him to train during unconventional hours. This mindset reflects his belief that dedication and hard work are key to prolonged success in professional sports. In essence, Jaromir Jagr's enduring career serves as a testament to the power of adaptability, disciplined training, and mental toughness, inspiring athletes across all ages. Jágr's story is proof that passion and hard work can take you anywhere. He grew up in a country where playing in the NHL was nearly impossible, but he made it. He faced doubters, injuries, and challenges, but he never gave up. He became a role model for athletes everywhere, showing that with dedication and resilience, you can achieve anything. It doesn't matter if you're playing hockey, starting a new career, or chasing a dream. Jágr's lesson is the same for anyone listening. Outwork everyone. Never stop improving. Believe in yourself. Because if Jaromir Jagr can play professional hockey into his 50s, what's stopping you from achieving your dreams? Jaromir Jagr's extraordinary career is a testament to the power of perseverance, discipline, and passion. While most players fade with time, he refused to slow down. Decades passed, the game evolved, and new stars emerged, but Jágr remained. Not because he had to, but because he loved the game. He showed the world that age is no barrier when you have the right mindset. He proved that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. His legendary training routines, late-night workouts, and relentless drive made him more than just a great player. They made him a symbol of what's possible. From a young boy in Czechoslovakia with a dream to one of the greatest hockey players in history, Jágr's story is one of dedication, sacrifice, and inspiration. His journey is a challenge to all of us. Work harder, stay committed, never give up. Because if Jágr can do the impossible, so can you. What if age wasn't a barrier but merely a number? What if, instead of slowing down, you could push forward with more strength, more passion, and more resilience than ever before? Jaromir Jagr has built a career on sheer determination, relentless work ethic, and a love for the game that never fades. His story isn't just about hockey, it's about what's possible when you refuse to give up. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more healthy tips. Be sure to comment below on your favorite part of the Jágr story, and let us know if you would like to see more inspiring bios of great people who defy time well into their middle age. If you found this video inspiring, be sure to check out our latest video all about the great Jamie Foxx. See you next time.